Hey guys, welcome to the Rat Grind channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is June 20th of 2018. So we're going to talk about the crypto market and how it's bounced back. And we're going to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum and analyze it a little bit to see where it's headed, as well as some news that happened today. So let's get started. First of all, if this is your first time on this channel, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know there's a lot of options for different channels out there for content about the crypto markets and business leadership and all of that in general. And I appreciate you coming to this channel and supporting it. Please do subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell if you haven't done so, and smash the likes, guys. Please smash the likes, the thumbs up, support this channel, and give me your feedback and comments below. Let's talk about the topics. Let's discuss this a little bit. I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear your thoughts, see my takes on the market and what's been happening, and I want to hear yours as well. So first, let's look at what we're going to cover today. So the first thing that we're going to look at is how the crypto markets in general has been recovering upwardly. All right. So there's a lot of bullish direction that has been able to take in the last 24 hours. So we're going to look at that entirely and how the market is going. And Bitcoin and Ethereum needs to break through to be able to go bullish again, right? So there's certain resistance and points that it needs to be able to hit, and some indicators that it needs to be able to pass through, so that we could be able to continue that bullish momentum and continue that recovery upwards. And we don't want to hit the bump again, so that we that forces us to slide back down, but we still do need to hit some points and pass through some resistances for us to confirm that bullish momentum. So as far as the news today, I was looking at that the US Congress put out new rules on crypto assets for members of the House, and as well as the Toronto Stock Exchange is going to offer new ETF trading in the next couple of days. I think as early as tomorrow, Thursday. The next bit of news is the Winklevoss twins. We know all of them. We know all of them. We know both of them. They've been around the space for a very, very long time. They're one of the biggest proponents of regulation in the space. So they won another patent for blockchain today, and we're going to go through that news. And the biggest news today, I would say, I think it's probably the reason why a lot of the coins are in the green, was Tether. It's been in the news with Bitfinex and all that stuff, how they keep printing more Tether, and it's not backed by US dollar deposits. And they've confirmed that former FBI director to the United States has confirmed the USD deposit. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the paper of the actual result that they did when they went out and confirmed that. All right. So let's get right onto the charts, guys. So first things first, so if we look at the market behind me, we'll see that everything is pretty much in the green again. I know we keep saying that as we go through this channel, we keep seeing things in the green, and then the next day we turn red. But so far, I mean, once we get to the charts, I'll show you guys how this green is a little bit different than what it has been. Yesterday we looked at one of the bit of news that we talked about towards the end of the video was about the market's volatility, how it was significantly lower than it has ever been this year so far. I mean, it only increased when the news of the Bitcoin hack yesterday happened, right? So there was a lot of selling momentum that happened, but overall it's been a low volatility market in the last couple of days, which does signal to some TA and some experts out there that the bottoming has started. If we haven't hit it, we've already started hitting the bottom, because the bulls and the bears are already agreeing that this sort of is the price that we need to maintain in order to both parties be satisfied, right? So with that said, if we look at everything, like I said, Ethereum went up 3.52% today, Bitcoin 2.27%, XRP, which is Ripple, 2.71%, EOS is a big gainer today, 3.88%, and a few other ones. So let's go to CoinMarketCap and see where we're at as far as the overall market. So if we can see here, we'll see that the CoinMarketCap market cap listing today is $290 billion. So we're close, very, very, very close, $10 billion away from hitting $300 billion again. And Bitcoin's dominant yesterday was 40.1%. Now it's down to 39.9%. So 0.2% less. We want this to be around the 34-35% range, but we'll take under 40. The 24-hour volume today, again very low, of $11.8 billion. So if we'll see, we hit a little bit of a bump yesterday and we took a dive. As you can see on this chart, it was pretty much the same overall. Majority of the coins did hit that bump, and a lot of them dropped, and of course some more than others, but overall we've been able to recover. As you can see, I'm looking at the top 100. Ethereum Classic is again a very top gainer, 13.34% just in the last 24 hours. So if you're holding any of those Ethereum Classic, or you've traded Ethereum Classic, you were able to watch out for that. Congratulations to you, and you made a really good gain on your percentage gains right there. Overall, like I said, everything is in the green. Nano, 10.18%. That's good. I'm a holder of Nano. I'm a big believer in this particular currency, so I'm looking forward to it gaining a lot of its market value, which it's lost I would say more than 50% over the last couple months, its value. So I'm very bullish that comes back. Basic Attention Token, 11.40%. I'm really bullish on Basic Attention Token. The Brave project, the Brave browser, if you haven't downloaded that, I highly suggest you do so. Please do support that particular browser. It's really crypto based, where people are able to earn because of viewership and all that stuff, Brave Basic Attention Tokens. So I highly suggest you go ahead and download that browser and support the space. The founders of those are the same founders of Mozilla, creators of Firefox and all that stuff. So it's really a really great project, and I'm glad to see that they're up 11.40%, and IOST up 11.48%. So a lot of this overall have regained significant today. Wow. Veritasium is up 11.92. Wow. Enigma 21%, guys. Congratulations if you're a holder of Enigma. That's a big jump in the last 24 hours. So congratulations to everybody on that particular gain. So let's look at the charts, guys. Let's get onto Bitcoin. So again, we are looking at the Bitfinex on TradingView, Bitfinex on a day chart. So the pairing is Bitcoin and USD, right? Again, on the day chart on Bitfinex. As we can see, we've been closing on a green note of the last 4 days of the week. After that massive drop that we were able to experience last week, we've been able to sort of hold steady. It's still within the 8-day exponential moving average. We needed to bounce above this, but as you can see, the 13-day EMA right here is posing a significant resistance on that line. Is being rejected, but as we can see, it's still on a higher high and higher low, which to me that means that could potentially break through in the next couple days. That's what we want to be able to see, right? Our push here, we're still seeing some resistance at about the 6,800 level. So if we are able to push through the 6,800 level and break through and bounce above the 21-day exponential moving average, then that would be a good sign. As you can see, the 200-day exponential moving average is all the way up here to about 8,300, and the 55-day EMA is right up about 7,600, 7,700. So that's what we want to be able to break through. But I'm sure we're going to be hitting some resistance right here as well as right here. So those are the points that we need to be able to break through. So let's look at the indicators, the RSI first. So if you look at the RSI, like I showed you guys yesterday, I wanted to see that, let me delete this particular line right here. What I wanted to be able to see was that it would be able to sustain above this particular oversold level, and that's what it's exactly what it's doing. It's diverging bullishly right now. So I like to see that bullish divergence, and we have a ways to go to climb over to the oversold level. So we have a good chance, good momentum, that it's going to pick up and continue its upward momentum if if there's not a black swan event and we've actually hit the bottom. Hopefully we have. We've tested this level, you know, this area right here 3 times already, right? So that is a significant support because of the fact that, like I always tell you guys, previous resistance will act as a new support, or a previous support will act as a resistance. In this case, this is acting as a support level for us. You know, if it's tested below that, but it's been able to gain back. So if we look at this is the most important indication for me personally, right? As we can see, the bullish divergence, bullish convergence has actually happened already, and we have a ways to go to be able to go up. So with that momentum, with those confluence of factors, I potentially see a big bullish momentum that can, you know, hit all of us. So it's definitely a great thing for the entire crypto market, and it's a good thing that it's not just Bitcoin. I know there's you know, some people have already been opened to Bitrex's USD pairings, right? They've allowed USD pairings in a lot of different altcoins, so that will bring a lot of liquidity into the market. And what I hope to see is, you know, Binance to follow suit. I'm still waiting on Euro to be available, to be made available for Binance, and hopefully in the near future US dollar pairing as well, which will decouple majority of the altcoins, the good projects on Binance, to be able to get their own influx of investments that's outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum itself, right? So let's look at Ethereum, guys. And I always do this because, and I'm a big believer in Ethereum. I know a lot of Bitcoin maximalists don't really support Ethereum or any other altcoins, but I really believe in it because I think that it has a lot of potential. I know Bitcoin can pretty much do a lot of the things that Ethereum has, but Solidity is a lot easier to program, guys. If you have ever dabbled in web development, know JavaScript or even Python, the logic of programming Solidity contracts is much easier than script, or, you know, C# or C++ or any of these other blockchains. So that's why I think, you know, Vitalik Buterin's creation of a Turing complete scripting language is quite a feat. So let's look at Ethereum, guys. So if we look at the charts again, the same thing with Bitcoin, although it looks to be even better. We are getting some resistance on the 21-day EMA, and we never quite got low to previous support that we were hoping that we would not touch, and, you know, we never did, right? So that's a really great thing. Overall, it's still, you know, it's a good bullish momentum that we have here. If we look at I like looking at the 4-hour chart because we can be able to see a little bit more indication of where we're potentially headed, right? So if we look at this, there's a lot more candles that we can see on the 4-hour chart, of course, and we can see how this is trajecting up, and it's been green, you know, majority of the 4 hours in the last couple of days, right? So that's really good. And on the 4-hour chart, it's, you know, it's showing a very excuse me, a very bullish momentum. And the only thing that we haven't broken through is the 200 candle exponential moving average on the 4-hour chart. But of course, on the 1-day chart, we still have quite a ways to go. But I think, you know, looking at where the market is headed, we could potentially be able to break through all of that. So let's look at the MACD. So the MACD as well, you know, it has converged bullishly, and we're heading up. So that's a really good sign. And the RSI was oversold, and now again, just like Bitcoin, it's trajecting up. And these are the small things that I like to see. As you can see, this is a small factor here, but overall that's really good, because if we go through like a daily hour chart, we can see that on a lower time frame, it definitely is diverging bullishly, right? So that is some of the signals and probabilities that we want to be able to see to give us the indication that it is going towards a bullish momentum, or the long positions that we like to take. I know that there's a lot of selling pressure for the people that are shorting the market right now, because people still think that we could potentially go down, and there's still a lot of I would say, so-so, in the middle news that are not so bad, not so great, that have been, kind of floating around in the crypto space. But the vast majority of news has been very positive. So that's what we want to be able to see, guys. All right. So we're going to keep a watchful eye on this in the next couple of days and see where we head. And I'm excited to see the progress that we're making in the next couple of days. Hopefully, if we're able to break through those resistances, I hope that the bears, finally are pushed aside and hibernate for for a while, so that we can pick up some bullish momentums. Although I'm not looking forward to a parabolic run like I told you guys yesterday. I'm not necessarily looking for it to jump dramatically to $20,000, $50,000. That's not what I'm looking for. I want it to slowly break through 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 11,000, and 12,000 respectively, so that we can be able to maintain a good, solid bullish momentum and bullish run, bullish rally. So that's what I want to see. All right, so let's get on to the news, guys. So the first bit of news, let's talk about that. So members of the US Congress will soon have to reveal their crypto assets. A lot of people, there's a lot of speculation in the space that this space is reserved for a lot of those people that are trying to hide, money launder, and hide their money and all that stuff, and saying that cryptocurrencies provides a way for you to hide your assets. It actually does not. It makes everything transparent, because as you know, if you know somebody's address, you can be able to trace a lot of their transactions. You may not confirm, but once you figure out which address somebody owns, or an institution, a bank, or any individual, you'll be able to trace all the transactions that are in that particular wallet address. So that's the really great thing. I mean, if people hide it with cash, they steal money, throw it under their couch or their mattress and whatnot. It's really hard to trace that, guys, right? But digital assets is a completely different story, because it allows you to look at the footprint of where things are flowing. So I mean, that's exactly what the United States Congress is wanting to be able to see. I know they want to be able to pass laws and stuff like that. So they want to ensure that the people actually passing the laws are also compliant with some of those laws. And I know there's a lot of bearish, there's a lot of bulls within the U.S. Congress, Senate, and in the U.S. politics in general. Whenever I watch those Senate hearings, it's quite funny, because a lot of the older folks, sorry if you are older, I apologize, I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about some of the older folks in the Senate or in the Congress that have no idea what blockchain is. They're just throwing questions away from a script that they don't really understand. Some of their questions honestly sound less informed. That's the best way for me to put that. So less informed questions, right? So, but we can see a lot of the more bullish senators and congressmen in the United States Congress have more legitimate questions that are really to the security of its citizens, to the transparency of the cryptocurrency market, and of course ICOs that are legitimate and not scammy, right? So that's really I think that's really good, because of the fact that here in America right now, in the US, it's an election cycle. So a lot of people, a lot of representatives will be receiving potentially cryptocurrencies maybe under the table. So that is something that the US Congress does not want to have to deal with, because lobby money, corruption, and all that still is pervasive in any political arena. So that's something that they want to be able to look at. So the next bit of news that I want to be able to share with you guys was this: Toronto Stock Exchange to trade new blockchain ETF, right? So the TSX will list a new blockchain exchange traded fund starting Thursday, which is tomorrow, guys. Bloomberg reported this today, and it's the Horizons Blockchain Technology and Hardware Index ETF fund. It's going to join the other Harvest Portfolio Group funds that are being traded currently on the Toronto Stock Exchange. So they say that we don't know which individual blockchain companies are going to work. We have no idea what the extent of the blockchain applications will be. But we do know people will have to invest in the infrastructure infrastructure to build out blockchain. It's going to be these ancillary services to the blockchain technology where the winners are going to be at the end of the day. So Hawkins told Bloomberg that presently the fund is not looking to invest in 20 million, basically the lower market cap, because it's just high risk. So they're looking probably at the more top projects out there, right, that have already shown resistance to market downturns and FUDs and stuff like that. So of course that's responsible, because as we discuss in this channel, ETF, you're basically investing in a whole market, in a basket of different assets that ETF represents. So that's a really, really good thing, because you'll be able to get a taste of investing in the blockchain without having to actually study the individual projects that I always recommend you guys do. So that's really, really good, and that's starting tomorrow. So that's hopefully going to bring a little bit more liquidity into this particular market. And the next bit of news, it's also related to that, was the Winklevoss brothers score another crypto investment patent, right? Let me read an excerpt on this. This was reported on CoinDesk today. Actually, it says June 21st, but it's already, I think, because it's using UTC time and I'm on the Pacific Standard Time. So they say the patent awarded on June 19th, this was yesterday, details a method for providing an exchange-traded product holding digital math-based assets, as well as the issuance of shares tied to that ETP. It adds to the body of intellectual property that Winklevoss have sought to obtain, though it's not entirely clear when or how the concept will be applied to real-world products, right? They've been going after getting on ETFs, right, for quite a while. And in 2017, the SEC actually denied them that ability because, of course, the SEC has up until recently been sort of on the fence on blockchain cryptocurrencies in general, because they don't really know what to do about it. Now that they've been able to bring in more experts into the space, they have a lot more clarity on the technology. That's why they've been putting out a lot of really, really bullish news, right? So that's really, really good for the whole market in general, because again, the more that the world is exposed to the blockchain projects, if the Toronto Stock Exchange is going to be trading ETFs, soon, we hopefully will be soon exposed to that as well here in the United States. I'm also looking for futures for Ethereum that hopefully, with the clarity that the Security Exchange Commission has provided, we'll be seeing in the next couple of months or up until the end of the year. I know that there's a paper that I was reading earlier today, or actually yesterday, that said that the run-up of the prices in 2017 was right before the announcements of the CME, the futures market, right? And as soon as that was reported, we hit about, I don't know, 19,500 or so, and it tanked after that all the way down to 10,000, because once the futures market is opened, there will be the easy ability for people to short, right? To take a short position on the market. So the selling pressure will be a lot higher than it was before, when there was not that process or that futures contract, right? So that's definitely something that we could potentially see that it could again negatively or positively affect the market. But any regulation is welcome, any of these clarity is welcome for our crypto market to mature. So the last bit of news, that's basically the most important news of the day. I heard it on Bloomberg. I know this has been reported in a lot of the crypto channels. I mean, some of the guys that I follow, I haven't seen them. I was hoping that they would report on this already, but they actually have not. So there's been a lot of different versions of this news, but I love this the most in particular. Tether hired former FBI director's law firm to vet finances, right? So Tether Ltd, the issuer of digital currency, again, a lot of people think that this is connected to Bitfinex, right? Said that its bank deposits of 2.55 billion were confirmed by the law firm co-founded by FBI director Louis Freeh, as the company seeks to reassure investors that its cryptocurrency is backed by US dollars, right? So you know, when they just to clarify, this is not an audit, right? I think it's a little bit, you know, they're not being very clear on why an audit is not actually possible. I think because of the fact that, of course, there's a lot of these, you know, because this is a Cayman-based company, they're trying to hide all their assets. They don't want to be taxed and all that stuff, right? So an open audit is not really something that they might want to engage in, and that's probably why they're not just opening their doors and opening their bank accounts. But it's still bullish news nonetheless that even though it's not a complete audit, a former FBI director's law firm was able to look at this and really, you know, see and confirm that those dollar deposits are there. I know there's a lot of circulated news back in the end of 2017, which resurfaced earlier this year in 2018, that the CFTC was subpoenaing Tether, right? But all of that was, you know, pretty much old news that would just kind of be resurfaced to, I don't know, maybe manipulate the market and keep it down. But, you know, we're being able to move away from that. So FSS, this is their actual report, guys. Let me just pull it up here. So this is the FSS, which is basically Free Sporkin and Sullivan LLP, right? So Tether has retained a law firm, Free Sporkin and Sullivan LLP, to provide legal advice and counsel regarding a review of bank account documentation. Tether's relevant policies and procedures are randomized, and a randomized inspection of the numbers of Tethers in circulation and corresponding currency reserve. So I'm just going to jump through this towards the end, guys, and the conclusion is FSS is confident that Tether's unencumbered assets exceeded the balance of fully backed USD Tethers in circulations as of June 1st, 2018. All right, so let's look at Tether. Let's look at the market cap of Tether right now. So right now, the USDT is $2.6 billion, right? So, you know, at least it's close enough, right? It was 2.44 the last couple of days, but of course, you know, people buy and sell into Tether, so that's why that goes up. But that's really bullish news that they have come out and said that that's the case. But again, I wanted to caution you that this is not a full-on audit, but I think that a lot of the FUD that has been going on could potentially, at least for the time being, be put to rest, right? So that's sort of what we want to be able to see, and we're seeing a lot more clarity. We see a lot of clarity from the SEC, from the CFTC, who's very bullish on this. We know now that the stance that they have on what is a security, what is a token, what is a utility token, which is an asset, and all that stuff. We're getting a lot more clarity, and you know, I've reported a lot of news that Tether had kept printing, and which coincided with some of the drops of the crypto market in general, and we were sort of, you know, looking into potentially were they the reasons the market was being bought up and artificially inflated in a way. Well, at least this puts some of those concerns on the side, at least, you know, for the time being. And we hope that this allows the market to flourish continuously and put that behind us. All right. So that is the last bit of news that I want to be able to share with you guys. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the topics, about the Winklevoss twins getting more ETF patents under their belt? I think this is the 7th or 8th that they have already. The Toronto Stock Exchange being able to start trading ETFs starting tomorrow, June 20. What today's today? June 21st, right? So that's really good news, and also where the markets are headed. You know, do you agree that the resistance that we're having and the RSI and the MACD confluence that we see, positive confluence, is an indication that the market is turning more bullish than, you know, than ever before, right? At least in the last couple months and so far this year, right? So, you know, let me know what you guys think. You know, comment below. If you haven't done so, please do subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, hit the thumbs up, and give me your comments below. Let's discuss this. Let's see what you guys think. And I look forward to having these open discussions with all of you. All right? Well, thank you again for your time. Until I see you guys on the next video, I wish you and your family a success-filled day. Good night, guys, and I love you. Good night. Bye.